Good afternoon. Difficult times should make us strong, tough, and transform us. The storm of life do come the way of every individual, whether we like it or not. Life itself will have been boring without challenges. Life from the moment of conception to the moment you were born and as you were being raised, as you were growing up, no matter where you were born in the world, no matter where you come from, there will be challenges. And the world around us loves success. I am inspired to tell you a little bit about myself today. And with the hope that as much as I am encouraging myself, I can equally impact and encourage you. I am a 51-year-old man, young, with severe dyslexia. If you don't know what dyslexia is, go and research it. You will get to know a lot more about it. I have other low-level, unidentified learning difficulties. Because I am dyslexic, I have been able to use my rare talents, uniqueness, and experience of childhood trauma to reach a wide range of children and young people through drama, poetry, books, motivational speaking, and empowering workshops. I constructively use the story of my life to inspire children, young people, and more importantly, society to see the best in every human being, regardless of the circumstances and backgrounds they come from. I am Ayodele Chokes, the founder and CEO of Inspiration Youth Call, a youth organization that was set up in 2004 to inspire children and young people. I set it up mainly because of my own background and challenges of life. Behind the man that is talking to you right now lies a great level of insecurity, lies low self-esteem, lies lack of focus sometimes. But some of you will wonder, how can you inspire me if you lack those things? They come as a result of one's challenges with learning difficulties so complex that if care is not taken, it holds you back in life. And there are many people around the world who has learning difficulties and have made it. One of them is Richard Branson. You know, Winston Churchill, the former prime minister of this country, did have his own challenges. But many of these people became somebody in life because of the foundation that they had from their parents. If you are given a very strong foundation, and if you are given a very positive role model who supports you and allow you to fly, you can get to places regardless of your learning difficulties. My learning difficulties, without a doubt, held me back because of the traumatic childhood that I had into adult life. I equally must admit I made mistakes. I allowed them to hold me down. I allowed them to pin me down. I allowed them to shape my life. That is a wrong mentality. And I'm going through storm. Life in itself is a storm. And I have to look, why am I where I am? Because of these learning difficulties and all the decisions that I've made and you have made. You are extra special, regardless of that background that you and I come from, no matter how deplorable that background is, no matter how lacking the love, protection, everything that you need that to have made you the person that God has created you to be. If those things were not there, there must be a reason why you didn't have them there. You see, you will be like a tree in that situation, planted by the rivers of water that yields its fruit in a season and whose leaves does not wither. Whatsoever you do, you will prosper. It can only happen through faithfulness and keying into what God said about you and I. I made mistakes. I have made mistakes. Oh my goodness me. I cannot begin to count how many of those mistakes that I've made that have held me back. Whatever my father, whatever my mother, whatever, they are not superhuman. They are human themselves. They make mistakes and things happen. But you as a person, gotta move on. Gotta be somebody. Got to look at your situation. In fact, that should be the making of you. To try and make something out of your life and say to yourself, I will be somebody regardless of what anybody says about me. Sometimes when I stand in front of children and young people, as I often do, and I speak inspiring, I inspire them and say wonderful things. That for me is my platform. That for me is where I can be me. But the moment I retreat from that place, I allow what happened in my childhood to dominate me. It's a wrong mentality. It is not the right mentality. If you do that, if you do that and you live like that, it is a slow death that can come to an individual. And before you know it, you are gone. There are certain things in life that is a must that you and I had to go through. Reproach. People do it. Bring it your way. You may be the one that even reproach yourself. Mockery, ridicule, all of those things. You got to mount up. You got to rise up. You got to look and key into the promises of what God said about you. I just wanted to inspire you and tell you one or two things about dyslexia. You see, I wish I had a very good foundation. Okay. Many other people wish they had a very good foundation, but they've moved on. They've become somebody. I wish I had surrounded myself with the right amount of people. Well, some other people who wish they surrounded themselves with the right amount of people with the right mindset. It is not about wish or no wish anymore. It's about what here and now. You know, dyslexia broke me. It broke my self-esteem. He placed me in a place where I did not have identity. He made me question who I am. I thought I was a complete waste of space. I could not do anything educational. Anything academic, I couldn't do at all. I struggled with almost every aspect of education. But when you put me in front of people to talk, it is very easy for me, even though my grammar, English grammar, is not the best. It's weak in parts. I know that. But still, what I am projecting to the audience, or the wider audience, they get it. But ask me to put those things down in writing. I'll struggle. So I questioned myself. Growing up, I couldn't identify the letters of the alphabet. Growing up, I couldn't even read 1, 2, 3 up until 100. There are certain numbers that I didn't know. So what I did was to have a strategy to cram all the time. If I was born completely physically disabled, and I want to apologize to that wonderful community. I'm not using that as a yardstick, but I'm stating the reality. If my disabilities were quite obvious, perhaps I will get some level of sympathy. But because I can project myself this way, because I can do all those kind of things, people automatically think he's got it all together. Then when I then struggle to do certain things, a lot of people begin to question themselves, begin to look, why is he struggling? Could it be that this guy is so lazy? I became too reliant on people. And the people that I relied on, I did not know even how to appreciate them. You see, the person that pushed the wheelchair, that's the person that does the job. You sit on it, the wheelchair is there, somebody pushes it. You got to appreciate them. I did not know because my emotions were all over the place from childhood. I never had a very good childhood. And in fact, it's awful. I wouldn't wish my worst enemy to have the kind of to come from the kind of home that I come from, where the biological mother wasn't there. My father was an extreme disciplinarian. I don't remember having a dialogue friendly, in a normal, in a usual, in a wonderful way with my daddy. And anytime the adversity of life took me into the midst of my mother, it was volatile. So I grew up this young boy with a limp, with my neck walking side like that. you know, and they will call me in my native language, Olorun Woroko, Olodo, Omaya, all those kind of deplorable names I carried. It's all set out in my book, which I am being told I shouldn't have written, which I've been told that it's a mistake, which somebody said to me the other day, you are not meant to talk about your pain. You are meant to live through your pain. Keep quiet. Especially if the pain is inflicted upon you by your parents, just shrug your shoulder and carry on. The consequence of writing a volatile, a direct book about my life is what I'm facing today. Things fall apart. The title of my book, which is now out of circulation, the first book, Joy Come Home, Triumphant Success Over Adversity. Perhaps with a great level of wisdom, there are certain things I shouldn't have touched on in that book. But I was coming from a place where I thought many people should hear the story, because there are millions of other children who have been brought up in pain and in despair. Many of them, we call them area boys. Many of them, we call them riffraff. Many of them, we call them downtrodden. Many of them will look down on them. Look down not on anybody. Every individual that behaves in one way or the other has some story and history behind them. You may not see it. I did not know what dyslexia is. I was diagnosed at the age of 29 years old. I'm 51 and a half years old now. So systematically from childhood, I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I couldn't do things. I only crammed. I went to 11 primary school, and I want to tell you quickly about one particular primary school that I went to in Ajebandele. This is in Ogun State of Nigeria, outskirts of Ijebu-Ode, not too far. The adversity of life took me there to live with my two wonderful aunties and their husbands, all of blessed memories now. So when I got into that village, I started to live there with them in a village completely without electricity. There was nothing there. I came from Lagos. This is a child born in the United Kingdom, raised here for 4 years, and went to Nigeria and plunged into the ocean of life. And I have to navigate my way through it. I had no rescue. So one day in school, often the teacher will call people to read in turns in a classroom. So I think it was primary 2 or primary 3. This was 1974. I would never forget that year. Then the teacher called me, said, Ayo, come and read to us. Stand up. When she called me, come and read. Straight away, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I was frightening. I wanted the ground to open and swallow me. My goodness me, how could she call me? I had to come up with a strategy, with a way to get away from that situation, because I know I couldn't read. I know I couldn't pronounce words. There are certain words I could pronounce, but most of them I couldn't. How do I get away from this? I said, Miss. Mofeyagbe means in my native language, I want to go to the toilet. I want to do number 2. She said, okay, quickly go to the toilet. Then I dashed out of the classroom, went into the toilet and locked the door behind me. And as I got there, I started to sweat like a pig. How do I get out? The toilet is outside within the school compound, outside of where the premises, the compound of the school was located at that time. This is in Ajebandele. For those of you Nigerians will know where place I'm talking about. For those of you, particularly if you are from Ijebu, the waterside area. Then I opened the door gently, sneaked out of the toilet. This is the latrine. Those kind of toilet that you dig a hole, there's a hole in the ground and you have to spot and do your number 2. And you could hear the sound of the poo-poo, bam, 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 as if you are dancing to the beats of Sunny Ade. So I sneaked out, looked left and right, like into Jinkon, like somebody that has stolen something that wants to escape for freedom, to freedom. I escaped from the school, dashed home to my auntie of blessed memory, Mrs. Simbiatu Jaguno, Mama Ologi. I got home. She said in my native language, what have you come to do at this time? I said, I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling, Ibani. She said, Ibani. That means it is malaria. You're coming up with the malaria. She took me into bed. And there I crept into bed. That is how I thought I escaped. She put mentholatum, rub on me. She called my other auntie, Mama Eleba, Madam Rabiatu Kazim, all of blessed memory. These are inspirational women who I owe my life to. They were illiterates. They were not my biological mother, but they were there for me in times that the adversity of life took me into their presence. They never once turned me away. So that was how, brothers and sisters, I thought I escaped that situation. The following morning, I turned up in school. The teacher said, "Oh, Ayo, come here." She got me and threw me in front of the classroom and flung the book into my hands. She said, "Now, you thought you were playing a game." I thought I'd got away. I thought I'd narrowly got away from the situation. She said, "Now read to everybody." In one hand, she had the cane, a bar. And as I tried to navigate my way through, word by word, sentence by sentence, and I couldn't, she would strike me. Wham! Maybe instead of calm, I say, bam! Where it is traffic, maybe I can't even pronounce it. Most of the words, and she would strike me. And as I stood there, I started to wet myself. This is the truth. Nothing but the truth. Next time when I'm sharing this with you, I will have the scripture. I will put my hand on the Bible, because the Bible, the word of God, is so important. Anybody that lies cannot make heaven. This is a painful story I'm telling you. I'm telling you because there may be some people out there right now who you may be looking at your children and think they are nobody. They are olodo, they are this. Olodo in my native language means you are dull. This teacher did not know any different. She struck me. The classroom became electrified. Everybody started jeering and laughing. Some sat there quietly. Maybe they were insecure themselves and they thought their turn would come at one day. So they sat there, maybe few of them, but the rest of the class were laughing and laughing. Oh, I remember that book. Mr. Giwa is a trader. He has a store in David's village. His store is full of things to sell. He sells knife, nails, and there was just that particular story, a man that caught a bird. I have the book with me here. I wet myself. She struck me. She struck me with many times and over. That time I spent in that village, I spent 9 months there. It seems 9 months, something so peculiar with my journey in life, particularly in Nigeria. I was given a nickname, Lagos Boy. So everybody that saw me, I walk sideways. That's how I walk. Because of something happened when I was born. I was breech back, and it was such a traumatic back. I now know that I was even 7 weeks. I came out 7 weeks early. The documents, the informations are there. To be premature is one thing. To have a traumatic birth is another thing. To be brought up in a diabolical homestead is another thing. To have lack of identity is another thing. To be insecure in yourself is another thing. Then to grow up like that and become a father is another thing. A husband is another thing. That is why many men fail in their roles as a father, because they have been systematically broken. I am not suggesting otherwise that we should now cry and feel sorry, because we ought to move on. That was one incident at St. Augustine's School in Ajabandele. I will bring the facts to you. Then I thought throughout the time there that happened, and it wasn't a pleasant time. I hated the school. Otherwise, when I played football, if I was playing football and it was practical activities, things, no matter what it is, I was the master. Once I'm on my own field and I'm projecting my voice like this, nobody could put a wool over my face. I could speak, I could talk my way out of a bag. Whether my English is good or not, or my Yoruba is fluent or not, I love that. I love the attention. Many dyslexic people love attention because some of them have not been given that attention, and many of them that go on to do well in life find out many of them had a very good foundation. Many of them had a positive role model. Go and read the life story of Richard Branson and what his mother did, how instrumental that woman was in his life, and many others. Many others. I attended 2 secondary schools. I started my secondary school education at Eyini High School in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. One academic year I spent there, I did not know how I didn't pass. I was taken on trial to the next school to the next year from 2. My father decided to withdraw me from the uni high school at the end of the first year, and I landed at Songo Ota High School, Ogun State, not far from Ifo or Abeokuta. I got to this town, I knew nobody from Adam. I started off by living with the principal of the school. But what I'm trying to tell you here is, many of my friends in the school, at that school at the time, thought I was one of the brilliant students. Don't tell them I said this. You are not allowed to. I could play football. I can organize events. Me and the way I work with my side, working along Morocco, I could do things. I could do all those kind of things. But when it came to academic, I did not know. So I had to come up with a strategy of how to survive. I crammed. And I made sure I had the right friends that were very academically balanced. Friends that knew their stuff. And I will make sure I'm seated next to them. I chose my friends very carefully. Many of them were not as good as I was on the football pitch. So when we were outside the classroom playing, when it came to practical activities, I was the master. So they all wanted to be on my team. So I would say, yeah, if you want to be on my team, if you want to be my friend, when we get into that classroom, when we begin to do things, you have to favor me as well. I'm going to tell you about specific friends in days to come. One of them is Johnson Owolabi when I was in primary school. And I will tell you about Oluwole Akisoya when I was in secondary school, Songo High School. I will tell you about Fela Olide, Tunde Bankole, and all of these wonderful individuals that made the difference in my life. Many of them did not know at the time. We were all young. So, because of the way I was at Songo High School, and the principal, the second principal that took over the school is Royal Majesty of Blessed Memory Alani Oba Alani Oyede, who came in when I think it was we were in year 3, year 4, thereabout, from 4. He gave me identity. The man was like a father, a role model. He did not see any of his students as less, but he saw each and every one of us as more than able bunch of people with different talents. Students that will go places in life and be somebody. But I wanted position. I wanted people to see me because I wasn't seen at home. Because I wasn't seen with my mother. She lived in the shadow of my life. I love my mother dearly. It is why when I have the opportunity, I want to project how I feel. In our culture, you are not meant to. You are just meant to suppress. And if a mother or a father or parent can easily navigate their way through it, divide and rule, they will be the winner, and the child, many of them, will be the one that will lose out. That is where many children and young people who become adults become dangerous. They just come to the conclusion that they have nothing to lose because nobody was listening to them. Nobody is registering. Nothing is coming true. Sorry, I'm not very fluent in English. I am not very, very fluent, but I hope this is getting through to you. So one day I'm going to conclude on this, and then hopefully next time when I come to speak to you, I'm much more calm and structured in the way I'm going to convey many things. I'm going to tell you some stories about a dog, 2 dogs that I've written, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my new book, The Destiny. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you about business, how you don't fail, because I failed, and I don't want you to fail, and I don't want to fail anymore. I don't want to live in failure anymore. I want to learn from that failure. And I want to move on. How you have to appreciate people. No matter what they do, how you have to show appreciation, how you have to build your character by knowing God. How to be faithful. Because what allowed the enemy to sneak into me, to get to me, is unfaithfulness. Unfaithfulness. If you are unfaithful, when you are unfaithful, I'm not talking about extramarital affair, I'm talking about everything. If you're unfaithful, you block the flow of God's blessing into your life. And you open other channels for the enemy to get to you. And I tell you, they will laugh at you. They will laugh at you. They will laugh at you. But once you come and do a U-turn and face God and put your life into Him, they will smile with you. They will celebrate you because God will protect you and shield you. He will make you like that tree planted by the rivers of water that yields its fruit in its season and whose leaves does not wither. That whatsoever you do, you will prosper. Now, in fact, it will make you fly. You know that song, I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see you running through that open door. I believe I can fly. And I believe that you can achieve and I can achieve. We shouldn't feed our past terrible, awful. Because if we feed the negative things that happen in our past, they will grow fat and we will go thin. That is what happened to moi. And I don't want that to happen. This is why I'm going to come on here. I'm going to say more. No matter what pain, no matter the challenges I'm going through, I'm going to keep coming back and inspire you. And hopefully somebody somehow there or a bunch of people will see and want to invest in this man. Ayodele Talks. Anyway, let me come back. I've just deviated there. At Songwater High School, one day we were on the assembly. The principal, Alani Oyede, was talking to us about our WAEC, which was fast approaching at the time. And I like to stand in front of people. I was on the podium next to him because I seek attention anyway. And a lot of children that seek attention, people don't understand. And I talk about attention seeking. Many people seek attention unnecessarily. Some people seek attention because they never got one. So I will often stand there and I project my voice and speak. Everybody will listen and think I'm wonderful. But I was there this fateful morning. The principal started to talk about our WAEC and what needs to be done. Then he turned to me, he said, Talks. They called me Tokumbo, my middle name, when I was in secondary school. I just did not want to answer Ayodele anymore because I had enough. My father's name is Ayola. My name is Ayodele. My father resented me so much because of academic issues that I thought, don't let him down anymore. So that people couldn't associate me with him. Even though I look like him, I'm a splitting image of my father. I decided to answer Ade Tokumbo. So they called me Talks through my secondary school. He called me. He said, take that board and I want you to quickly go and get a chalk and write examination center number. You have to write examination center number. I started shaking. I grabbed hold of the board, a portable board, sneaked into the side office, stood in that office, grabbed hold of a chalk and started shaking. I couldn't write it. I could not write the word examination center number. I couldn't. I could write the numbers itself in terms of the alphabet, the numerical numbers, but I couldn't write the word. I stood there and the principal kept calling me. Talking more. Bring the board and come and show everybody so that they could copy it down. So, because we are not meant to make a mistake when you're doing your exam. You have to write this number on top of your paper, your exam paper. So I was there. So I was obviously, he wanted me to do that, but I couldn't. My bubble nearly burst. My ego was just about to crash, land. If the entire school know that I cannot write examination number, I'm done. I was already a prefect. And I occupied other offices within the school. I was the public relation officer for the Young Farmers Club. I was the president of the Literary and Debating Society. I was this, I was that. Tokumbo, everybody knew I was so popular. Kole Konko. Not done. So I was in that room, in that side office. Everyone was waiting. And I was shaking. Then the vice principal of blessed memory, Mr. Oyede, he just dashed in. He said, Kilon, what are you doing? I said, sir, something has happened. He said, what? I said, it seems my brain has stopped working. I said, I don't know what come over me. I had to come up with something. As I was looking at the ground, I said, I cannot write examination center number. I said, I just cannot write it. I'm trying to. I said, what's going on? I was frightened. I thought I was dead. He just grabbed the chalk from me, wrote it on the board, and gave it to me, and I took it out onto the assembly. That's how I held it up for people to write the examination center number down and everything, and the word. That is the impact of dyslexia. on my life. Back then, I did not know. Back then, I did not know. All I knew was that, Ayo, you are stupid. I'm going to tell you certain things happen in the labor room when my mother gave birth to me. Trauma in childhood, trauma through birth, trauma growing up. If it's not written on our forehead, if it is inward, it's worse. You are better off. Sorry to have to say this. I'm not going to get into trouble. You are better off to be obvious with physical disabilities that everybody could see straight away, than to have it internal. And then you are able to dress, you are able to speak, you are able to drive, you are able to do certain things, but you are not able to live as you are supposed to. I'm going to tell you a lot more. I got too excited there. I look forward to a time when I'm going to talk in depth about dyslexia. But that is not the end of the story. Many dyslexic people and some other low-level learning difficulties that I have are special individuals indeed. Only if you put a trust in them, they go places and they can do things, they can achieve. If you modify the kind of education that they get, they will soar. They will be the best that they can be. Richard Branson and many others which I will bring their name to you. Research them. Find out about them. But often, most of them, 99% of the time, it is the foundation, the family that they come from that makes them who they are, who they become. But above all, you have to inwardly transform yourself. That is where I have struggled. And that is what I'm trying to do now. Do you know how long it has taken me to come and stand and speak and want to project this to the world? I think people don't want to listen. I can't even speak fluently. What sense would I make? Who cares? God bless you. My name is Ayodele Talks. Married with wonderful children. How they have managed to put up with me, I don't know, but I love them and I love my wife. And I hope you, especially fathers and men, fathers, husbands, men, young men, no matter what the challenges are that you are going through right now, the end is not here and the end of you will not come. In fact, those painful times will transform you and make you the best that you can be. Get in touch with me. My number is 07968 I said that again. 07968 890 634. 07968 890 634. Or you can email me aoshunremi@aol.com or aoshunremi@inspirationyouthcall.com. That Oshunremi is spelled with an H in it. OSHUNREMI. I am Ayodele Talks. God bless you.